continuing strange order of things, contrary to the program that you have in front of you, I'm going to make one introduction, and then Joan Dreisker is going to come up and make the second introduction, and then Joan will ask the two ladies, the two women that we are honoring tonight, to come forward. Okay? Ivory Kennedy Anderson was born in Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma. I looked it up in my 2017 atlas tonight, and it isn't there. But Ivory left there at only a few months of age when her parents moved to Oakland, California, and later to San Leandro, California, where she spent her childhood. In the interview, Ivory said, "I wasn't an outdoors kid. I hated bugs." They asked her about sports, and her response was, "Well, I loved ping pong. Is that a sport?" "I was more studious than sporty. I loved to read." Ivory attended the University of California at Berkeley, which was close to home and cheap. You will not believe this. Only $50 a semester for everything. She had famous professors. She studied physics with Edward Teller, who taught physics for non-majors, and studied anthropology with Louis Leakey. All in all, Ivory loved her days at UC Berkeley. She majored in sociology and met a tall, handsome guy named Paul Anderson, who was a chemistry major.
Is that your guy?
Paul and Ivory married after graduation and before Paul began graduate studies at MIT. Settling in nearby Salem, Massachusetts, Ivory, the girl who wasn't an outdoors kid, went to work for the Campfire Girls. She worked with leaders of the troops, making sure they were properly trained. And she was also the day camp director in the summer. She and Paul lived in part of an old house that had been divided into two apartments. It had originally been Lydia Pinkham's home. Does that name ring a bell for some of you? You may remember Lydia Pinkham's Elixir for Ladies. Her famous vegetable compound sold especially well during Prohibition. It was 40 proof alcohol. As soon as Paul got his PhD in chemistry, the couple moved to Bartlesville, where he had a position at Phillips Petroleum Company's Research Center. Ivory liked living here from the beginning. She said it wasn't too big and the people were friendly. She made friends at Newcomers Club and AAUW and learned to play tennis and bridge. Their two children, Mike and Michelle, now Michelle Sievert, were born in Bartlesville in 1967 and 69.
Yeah.
And Mike and Michelle, if you would stand so everyone can see you, and Paul, would you stand too, please? Michelle, who has a degree from the University of Kansas in applied behavior analysis, lives in Issaquah, Washington.
Issaquah?
Issaquah, sorry. With her husband Ron and their three children, Zoe, Lexi, and Zach.
Yeah.
And her husband Ron is CEO of Seattle's famous Space Needle.
Yeah, that's what I go to.
And Mike has Down syndrome and attended Bellringer School as a preschooler. Bellringer provided preschool services for the developmentally disabled for more than 40 years before closing in 2000. Ivory fondly remembers Mike's wonderful teacher there, Pat Klinger.
But which was it?
And next, Mike attended Jefferson Grade School, where there was an excellent special education teacher, Judy Davis.
Yes, I know Judy.
He now lives in one of the ARC group homes and works at Employability,
Yeah.
a vocational facility for developmentally disabled adults.
No.
In 1982, when Mike was 15, Ivory became executive director of ARC Group Homes and served in that capacity until her retirement in 2005. When Ivory attended a meeting in Oklahoma City held for the many ARC groups all over the state, she learned that there was money available for acquiring or building group homes if a grant was properly written to access those funds. So Ivory learned to write the grants that enabled ARC to buy a 3-story brick home at 511 Cherokee as their first group home.
Yeah, I used to live there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
During her long tenure of more than 20 years, this valuable housing program has continued to expand, and there are now 4 ARC group homes. In addition, some ARC clients live in rental apartments and private homes, all of them serving the needs of a broad spectrum of people from monitored independence to 24-hour care. I met Ivory and Paul in the fall of 1967. You do the math. I had not even moved here yet, but my fiance was already working at Phillips and had the same supervisor Paul had. Little did we know when we met at a function at the supervisor's home that Ivory would become instrumental in enhancing the lives and increasing the options of countless developmentally disabled children, adults, and their families. I cannot imagine how many times she was on the Turner Turnpike, driving back and forth from Oklahoma City to learn about the state agencies that were supposed to be providing services, all the time researching and using the bureaucratic rules and regulations that govern those agencies. Over a period of several decades, Ivory has tirelessly, and I would add, at times fearlessly, advocated in the community, in the public schools, at the hospital, and at the state level on behalf of ARC clients. She continues today to be active in the field as board member of both Washington County ARC and Employability, and as a member of the state level organization, Oklahoma Community Providers. When Ivory and Paul came to Bartlesville in the late 1960s, there were very few services to meet the needs of the developmentally disabled. Today, Washington County ARC group homes, and Employability provide support to individuals and families and options for housing and employment for the disabled of our community. None of this would have happened without the dedication and commitment of Ivory Anderson.